Welcome everybody, I'm Jason, the creator of Team Rocket Robotics, and this is Microflash Gamma, my 3-pound combat robot. And over here is a problem to a solution I had at competitions. This is my new customizable kit. It's a stand for Beetle Weight and Ant Weight combat robots. Now prior to me creating this kit here, I tried to usually kind of cobble together a solution with some wood pieces, but while it technically satisfied competition requirements that the robot's wheels were off the ground, it was often unstable and really didn't work very well, and frankly wasn't actually that great at holding the robot in place while I needed to do important maintenance between matches. So this thing was created. Let's take a look at how you assemble this Beetle Weight, Ant Weight combat robot stand. Here are the components of my Beetle Weight combat robot stand. I have 4 3D printed corner stands. I have 2 3D printed middle anchors. There are 5 1/4-inch bolts. You have 4 3D printed restrictor cubes, and then you have 24 nuts. You probably won't need all 24 of these unless you're going with a certain size range, but let me go ahead and assemble this and show you how this kit goes together. For assembling this kit, you're going to need 2 sets of pliers. One should really be needle nose pliers, but the other one can be any type you like. So let's get this guy configured for Microflash Gamma with the weapon lock on, because of course this stand is intended to be used at competitions to where you have to keep the robot's wheels off the ground. So what I first want to do is use the corner stands and figure out how far apart they need to be to where they can support the robot in such a way that the wheels are not touching the ground, touching the stands, or touching any of the bolts that are connecting the pieces of stands together. So now the robot's out of the way, let me see about where my center anchors are going to go. These pieces are not necessarily required for your robot, but it really depends on how your robot's weight is balanced out. For Microflash Gamma, they're very helpful because it means some of the weight of the robot can rest on the center area of the robot instead of just simply on the wheel guards. So I'm thinking they'll probably go somewhere like that. You can tell that these pieces have a hole through one side of them that's going to allow them to slide onto the bolts that connect these 2 corner stands together. So let's see if this happens to fit pretty well. All right, very cool. So let's pick the robot up out of place. So now I'm ready to start assembling this thing. So what I can tell, I can put this first bolt down here. And because this first bolt doesn't go all the way through this corner span here, I don't need a nut on the inside. But for example, if you had a really small setup to where this bolt would potentially stick out one of the sides of the corner stands, you may need to have a different nut here. But let's go ahead, slide that in like that, and then I can take one nut and then slide it down until it pretty much anchors up against the corner stand here and holds this bolt in a really good solid position. You don't have to worry about completely tightening it right now. You probably want to get the entire stand assembled, and then you can tighten down each and every one of the nuts. Now for the central anchor spans, what you want to do is put one nut on either side of them just to hold them in place. Then we can slide this piece down, and I can put one more nut on to secure the central anchor piece in place. Now it is time to secure the other corner stand. So for that, I need to have one nut on this side of the corner stand, and then one nut inside the corner stand. And just kind of stop it right about there. Then let's insert the bolt into the corner stand, and then very carefully let's tighten this nut down well enough so that it more or less holds a corner stand in place. Once again, you don't need to fully tighten everything down right at this moment, but there you go, you've got your basic one piece assembled fairly loosely, but it'll work for now. Let's do the same thing with the other side, kind of keeping everything aligned. So I'm going to remember here I want them about 3 inches apart, because what I'm going to be doing is just kind of bringing them down here and repeating the process. Now at this point, it's going to be pretty close. You can see that the bolt almost goes all the way out through that end of the corner stand. So what I want to do before I go ahead and insert this bolt into the corner stands, I want to start by putting a nut somewhere close to the end. And this way, so it'll lock some of the bolt down on this side of the corner stand and only some of it going through here, and it won't stick out at all along this end. Let's flip the stand back over. You can see it's still a little wobbly. And let's test fit the robot one more time, and then we'll lock everything down. All right, I'm in a pretty good spot here. The robot can sit down. Its wheels are not touching the ground. They're not touching any of the corner stands or the bolts or anything. And I've got pretty good weight support for working on the robot. All right, let's go ahead and tighten all the bolts down. Flip the stand over one more time. And this is where using the 2 pliers comes into play. You really probably need needle-nose pliers on the inside, but then using any kind of plier on the outside, carefully lock down or each of the pairs of nuts. Once everything is tightened down, you should be good to go with the stand. It should be nice and locked together. If anything doesn't seem to be sitting right, you maybe get a situation where you've tightened the bolts too much and now it's kind of pushed a piece kind of a little bit out of placement compared to one it's attached to, and it's putting some stress into the base. But if not, everything looks good. Go ahead and get your robot down on the stand and you're just about ready to go. The last thing we can talk about are the restrictor cubes. The purpose of the restrictor cubes is such that you can glue them down to one of the stand pieces, and therefore they will keep the robot from kind of shifting left or right or forward or back or something like that. Now you can glue them down with super glue. If you do, it's probably preferred to use a gel super glue, but epoxy can work just as well. In this case for Micro Flash Gamma, I'm going to put one kind of on either side of the frame up here, and that'll help keep the front of the robot from sliding left to right, and also probably keep the robot from moving forward a little bit too much. I already have 2 of them glued down in the back to keep the robot from really moving off the stand. With those pieces glued down, we consider this stand complete and it's ready to go for use in competition or just work on your robot in general where you want to keep the wheels off the ground. So once again, I'm Jason, the creator of Team Rocco Robotics. Thank you for watching this assembly video. You can find a link to purchase this stand in the show notes of this video, so click on the description and you'll find a link right down there. Thanks for watching.